Hi everyone, let's talk about Quadropolis and its first expansion, Public Services. And so first off, Quadropolis came out last year, early last year, a bit before the channel I think. But yeah, I really love the game. It's got a classic and an expert version. If you saw the playthrough, that was the classic version. The expert version, if I just destroy our cities for a second, the expert version's got a 5x4 grid and it works a little bit differently. And instead of everybody having their own personal engineers, there is a pool of collective engineers. There's two of each number. So potentially you could take the two number 3 tiles, but then that's it for the rest of the round for everybody. You're locking everybody else out of those things. But I think both modes work really well in it. If you want a faster game, because not only you're only taking you're taking 4 things every round anyway, but there's only 4 rounds in the classic game, and your city is easier to it's easier to work out where things are going in the smaller city, and everything just ticks along very, very quickly, and there are fewer types of things. Also in the classic thing, there are office towers, there are monuments, there are things that work a little bit differently, and that's true of the expansion as well. There are a few more tiles, I think 2 or 3 more in the expert version, which concern things like that, which concern monuments. Like this is a public service, but it's also a monument, things like that. And office blocks kind of want you to spread out as well as go high up. And there's one that counts as that will give you points for your highest office block, like the one in the classic that gives you points for your highest apartment tower. So there are some differences in there, but I like both versions. Like if you want it to get a bit more complicated and take a bit more time playing it, you can do the expert version. But unlike a lot of games that have these kind of separations between simple and expert versions, you never play the simple version again. You might play it to learn it, but we'd never ever go back to it. Whereas Quadropolis is kind of what are we in the mood for this time? And if you just want a quicker experience, then I think it's really good that the classic version's there and offers enough to think about that it doesn't feel like an introductory version. It still feels like a full-fledged game that you're playing. So the expansion is quite a small expansion. It's only about 20 tiles or something like that, because it's got to have different ones for the classic version and the expert version. So it's a small thing really. It doesn't massively change things. It's nice that it's there because I really, really like Quadropolis anyway. So having more and knocking the box over is a really great thing. It's certainly not going to change your mind if you didn't like Quadropolis or you weren't interested. Having your choice of public service tile isn't going to change that one little bit. But it's a nice little thing on top that can potentially guide your city building or can give you things to look out for, can give you bonus points. You know that the one that's going to give you extra points for harbours is coming up and you've already finished your harbour, so you need to keep an eye on that. Or you're being perfectly organised this time, your city's going to end up full, so you need this public service tile so you can maximise the points from that. It does seem like the points are a little bit skewed sometimes because... Well, I suppose it's for the situation that you're in, because there's the ones that don't offer you anything, like the ones that just get you population or energy. But a lot of them, it seems to be around 3 or 4 points you get from the usual ones. So if you do everything properly and you can get your apartment thing really high, that's 4 points, but that's the maximum you can get out of it. The harbour is just 3 no matter what, I suppose, because you're already getting a lot from the harbour. This one, we've only played it a few times, so take this with a pinch of salt. This one seems like if you really, really devote your resources to it, then it's worth a lot. The one that lets you put factories and you get 2 points for every factory, you could potentially do that 4 times. You probably wouldn't do it 4 times, but if you saw the way I was doing it in the playthrough where I'd arranged 3 around it, so this was worth 6 extra points. Plus, because of that, you're going to have... If I try and arrange this in my hands, if you didn't see the playthrough, if you can have this factory, and then you can have harbours down one side and kind of fit shops in the gaps and do it on the top as well, everything's going to be worth so many points. That kind of chains together really nicely. I don't know, though. It's probably balanced. I probably don't know what I'm talking about. But, yeah, it's only a little thing. It's just an extra decision when you decide to take a public service tile. And sometimes you might even just want the 2 points as well. That's always a possibility. So I don't think, as I said, it's not going to change things massively. It's a very small expansion. It's only going to tweak that little area of the game. And I suppose it would make things a bit more desirable if in your games you tend not to take the public service tiles, then there's definitely a bigger encouragement now. For us, it was kind of one of our main things anyway. I really like public service tiles and harbours, so we took them a lot anyway. So it just kind of, it's a nice little option. It's a nice little choice to have when you are deciding what to take. So I don't think there's much more to say than that, actually. Yeah, Quadropolis itself, beautiful game. Days of Wonder always do amazing things. It looks beautiful, the artwork, the component quality, everything is top notch. I should mention that it comes with a beautiful insert that you might have seen in the playthrough. I think I showed it off. That fits everything perfectly, which is fantastic until an expansion comes out, because now what do I do with these tiles? I can't fit them in there anywhere, so they just have to kind of sit in this box. So hopefully there's more expansions to justify having another box, otherwise I have to throw away that insert that is very lovely. I suppose it could all go in bags, but I do like how it all looks together. But I think it's a fantastic game. There is a lot to it once you get going, and the expansion is a nice little extra on top of that. As I said, it's not going to blow you away if you weren't impressed with Quadropolis anyway, but it's a nice extra thing on top once you love the game. So that is Quadropolis Public Services. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you for the next game. Bye.